Okay, so in the next operation, we're going to use a color picker to create a color. So what you're going to do is you're going to double click on the fill in the swatches panel, and the color picker panel will come up. And you can see in this whole area here that it'll show the saturation of colors horizontally, and it shows the brightness of the colors going vertically. Another thing you can do is slide the bars down to get the various color in the spectrum. And so what I want you to do now is kind of click down in the orange area. And you notice that it's still, the color listed here is brown. So if I were, even though I have this, whatever color I select is the color that's going to end up showing up in my fill box here and here. And so right now we've selected kind of a burnt orange, okay? But we're going to go ahead and change the color values in the cyan, magenta, and yellow. And what I want you to do is go 40 for cyan, 65 for magenta, 90 for yellow, and 33 for black. And you can see how the color picker has changed over here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And again, as you can see, I have the new brown over here. So what I want to do next is I'm going to go to the swatch panel, and you can see that the brown is up in here where I changed it. And I'm going to go new swatch, and I'm going to call this dark brown. And we're going to save it. And you'll see that the dark brown has appeared here in the color swatch panel. Now I can also use Illustrator swatch libraries, which are collections of preset colors such as Pantone, earth tone, ice cream, and various colors that are very useful if you're wanting to create different types of artworks. So the next thing we're going to do is create a spot color, which prints using spot ink using the Pantone Plus library. And then we're going to apply that color to the logo. So first off, what we're going to do is we are going to load the color library, which is right here. And I click down on that, and then what I want to do is I'm going to, click on here. And what we want to do is go into color books, and then I want to go Pantone solid coated. And you can see that this palette comes up with various colors here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 755, which basically kind of gives me these hues of brown types of colors. And you can see all the selections that are related in that particular number area. And I'm going to add another 5, and you can see that it brings it down just to that one color. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my navigation menu here, and I'm going to select number 2. See if I can do that again here. Okay. And that's the artboard number 2. And it will bring you up to this view here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the left tree. I'm going to select my dark brown. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat here because I missed a step here. So we're going to go back to create a Pantone spot color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the swatch library, and I'm going to go to color books and down to solid coated. And what I did here was, if you see, I typed in the number for 755, And you can see that it's given me Pantone colors that are in that 755 group. If I add another number, it actually brings up this specific color, Pantone 755C. And so once I click on that, I want to keep that swatch. So I'm going to click on Create a New Swatch in my swatch library. And we can call this 7555C. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now you see you have the color. And now with that left tree selected there, I'm going to click on that color, and now I add that color to that object. So what I'm going to do next now is I am going to go into my color panel, and if this isn't up, it's a little artboard palette up here, or you can get to it in Windows for color. And what we're going to do now is we are going to actually change the tint of this. Okay, so I want the second tree to go, and then in the color panel, you will see that I don't have any options right now, so if this is showing up, you want to make sure that you click on Show Options. And here you can see that there's a color that I've colored that tree. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this opacity down to a 70%, and you'll notice now that I have the lighter color brown in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the swatch panel icon, and I'm going to go New Swatch. And then if you hover over that new swatch, you'll see that it's still the Pantone 7555C, but it's at 70%. Okay. So what we're going to do next then is we're going to go ahead and color these trees, every other one, with the lighter tint and then the darker tint. But what you also want to do is make sure that you don't have a stroke on any of the trees. So I'm just going to select each one. Actually, I could select all of them, and I could go and type in 0 and get rid of all the strokes on all the trees. When working with colors also in Illustrator, you can actually edit colors that will allow you to convert colors between different modes, blend colors, invert colors, etc. So still being on Artboard 2 here, what I'm going to show you is I got all the trees selected here, and if I go up to Edit, Edit Colors, you will see that I can do various things such as convert to CMYK, grayscale, adjust color balance, etc. So we're going to click on Convert to CMYK, and it's just converted this whole group to CMYK. And the swatches in the panel are no longer applied to this particular artwork. At other times, you just may want to copy an appearance attribute like a color or a fill or a stroke. So we're going to go down to Artboard 1 and move this over a little bit so we can get down there. We'll go back to Artboard 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to, using the selection tool, I'm going to select the left tree here. And then either using the eye on my keyboard or going to the eyedropper tool, I am going to select the fourth rectangle green down. And you'll notice that just by clicking that color, I can pick any color here, and it's going to change whatever I have selected to the color that the eyedropper has picked. So then I'm going to also go up into the stroke and apply no stroke. And then I'll just deselect out of my area. And then now we're going to work on creating a color group. Now this is done in the swatch panels here. And what we've done so far now is we've created a number of different colors. And you can see here the colors that we created. So I want you to, at the swatches panel, first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the swatch that says Aqua. And then I'm going to hold my Shift key down and I'm going to go to the forest green. I've selected those 5 swatches, as you can see here. And then I'm going to go to New Color Group, and I'm going to call this Tree Logo. And then I'm going to click OK. And now you see that up here in the swatch panel, I have those 5 colors that I selected, and now they're all grouped into the Tree Logo group, which is really nice, especially if I want my colors to be uniform throughout my design. I can go in there and make change or organize my colors. Another thing you can do too is you can actually remove a color from here. So I could take like the orange color and I could actually move it out. So the thing is too is you don't want it grouped because you saw that it just moved the whole group. So what you want to do is declick and then click on the orange one. And you'll notice if I drag it up here, now the orange has come back up here and I have just 4 colors down here. Then the next thing I can also add to a group. So I'm just going to pick my white palette here and I'm going to bring it down to the group. And now you can see that it is now in the Tree Logo group. And I can also change the order in which these colors appear here in the group. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be working with color in the color guide panel. And this can provide you with different options, color options to create your artwork. You can use it to pick color tints, analogous colors, etc. So we're going to be using the color guide panel shown here. And again, if it's not showing up, you can select it from your drop-down window menu. And with the selection, with my artboard, I'm going to go to Artboard 3. And you should see this come up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the far left tree, which is the aqua color. And you can see that the aqua color comes in here. And then I'm going to ask the color guide to suggest colors based on the colors showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here and I'm going to go to analogous. And one thing I forgot to do here is when you do that, first off, I should have clicked on the fill color here, because if you notice before, it was still basing the tints on that other brown that I had on the previous color. So if I click on the tree here, notice it still shows the oranges, but now by clicking on the fill color in the color guide, now I can see my different colors. And this is where I can go and select analogous, and you can see the different set of colors show up. And there's lots of different colors that you can choose from here, and you can see the different combinations, everything from high contrast to monochromatic, etc. Then we're going to click the Save Color group. And that is this little icon down here, and we're going to save it to the swatch panel. And now you notice that I have those colors listed right over here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go back to the color guide, and I'm going to select this blue right here But rather than doing that, making that selection, I'm going to deselect and then select the blue. And then I'm going to go to the harmony rules, and I'm going to choose complementary 2, but make sure you pick the complementary and then go to complementary 2, and then save to swatch. And now you'll notice that I have the complementary colors in with my selection.